Blog Talk Radio.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Sunny D. Welcome to tonight's show. Guys, y'all want to say hi?
What's going on, good people? You already know who it is. It's your boy Smooth. A little under the weather tonight, but I'm going to try to tough it out.
What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles back in the building. Looking forward to a great show.
Yes, welcome, guys. It's been a while since we talked to y'all. So welcome. It is December 2nd. We're already in December, guys.
Yeah, this year just flew by.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I need this year to go on because next year it's going to be a no bullshit year. I'm not wasting my time. I just want to be happy. And I don't want anybody to waste my time. I just want to have a good 2020 because 2019 and 2018 and the years before have sucked. I need a new year, a good year.
I feel that.
I feel you, baby girl. I definitely feel you. You know what I mean?
Like my hashtag for the night is curb life. I just got kicked to the curb. Shit is real. It's real. But we're going to let that, that's crazy. I'm just in that situation. But anyway, listening right now, you're on blogtalkradio.com/GFT Radio Show. If you listen to the playback, you're on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play Music, YouTube, where else? Our website, gftradioshow.com. I think that's all. I think I got them all. Cop some merch. I just got my hoodie, GFT Radio logo hoodie at teespring.com/stores/GFT Radio. Cop that merch. It's hoodie season. It's about to be past hoodie season. It's about to be cold as fuck. It's supposed to have a snowstorm out here. Willie, what's up with y'all?
Oh yeah, I mean it's a little cold. It looks like it's going to be ice tonight. Be careful out there if you're in those Detroit streets. It's definitely not to be played with, but I don't think we have any snow on deck for a little bit, so thank God.
It's supposed to be a storm, but it's not sticking. It's snowing right now, but it's not sticking.
Yeah, hopefully. They said we're supposed to get a couple inches overnight, but hopefully ain't much of nothing. Everything move as usual in the morning.
Right.
Yeah, I'm okay with a late start because, I need to get my life together. But as long as I can get to work on time and still get paid, I like the free. Today we had a half day. It was free. So I'm off for tomorrow being a half day free. I'm here for it.
I hear that.
Yeah.
But we got a great show lined up for y'all tonight. Phone number is 657-383-1155. If y'all been following us, we're talking about human trafficking. There's been so much in the media and in current neighborhoods that it's been crazy. So we definitely got to talk about that tonight. We're going to get into that and a couple of different important things regarding that tonight. So like I said, definitely call in 657-383-1155. Willie, you holding out Twitter or we not in Twitter yet?
No, yeah, I'm holding out Twitter. I'm about to post my first tweet, so we in here.
All right. Hit up Twitter at GFT_radio. We're going to be on Twitter, and we're taking your calls live tonight. So I don't know who came up with the topic. I think it was like you and Clint because of what was going on in the media.
Well.
Before we get into that, hold on. Before we get into that, I want to say shout out to the fellas. I listened to y'all show. That was dope as hell. I like how Willie thanks himself.
You're welcome.
No, but that was a dope show. I mean, I listened to it. I had got a chance. I think I listened to it when I got home, actually. I did a amazing show talking about different things with from a man's point of view. But I will say that I did talk to someone today, my friend Mia, regarding that we should do a show. I'm gonna put it on the air because I want to. But we should do a show where the ladies get to come on and ask you guys questions and y'all answer it from a guy's perspective. And then we should do a second show where you guys ask us questions and we get it from our perspective.
Dope. Yeah, we should do that. That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. We all think differently. You get to kind of see where we're at with our thinking process. We get to see where y'all thinking process is because we do our different shows, but it's good to do like let's just ask y'all questions and y'all answer.
Right. Yeah, spark up some new conversations. Exactly.
Like a new age Q&A.
Right.
But
sure.
yeah, both shows, or all three shows, got a good amount of listens. So that's, we were on the right page with that. So we need to. I think we need to do more of those, but I think it'll be fun. I think that version of it, the Q&A, will be definitely dope. But I just want to shout out y'all. Y'all show was an amazing show. You guys did good. I'm looking forward to many more the male conversations to get y'all perspective. Because from a female, we get to understand y'all perspective on a lot of different things.
Right.
Because we have our own ideal, and you guys kind of have your own ideal things. But I think for y'all, it's the same thing. You have to get hear what we thought about our different situations we were talking about, and to get y'all perspective on you guys' topics. It was,
Appreciate it. Definitely appreciate that. Shout out. Yeah, it was definitely dope.
I think that was a dope ass show.
Yeah, we definitely was vibing. Definitely was a great conversation.
Yeah. So, but go ahead. I'm sorry. Topic today.
Oh no. It was just more so. There's been a lot of talk, yes, on social media and the news about human trafficking. And let's just call it by what it really is. This is, basically a form of slavery.
Mm-hmm.
They want to call it modern day slavery or whatever. And it was a couple caveats, like human trafficking as a whole, and then more on social media, because we are more in tune to our culture, black culture or whatever. So we get more of our talking points, and it was a lot of things on my different timelines, saying how it's an uptick, how it's going on more and more, is more prevalent. I think we're just more aware now. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because when I came up with the topic, I was really like when we posted the topic on IG, we posted some stats about how it really just became a law in like 2000, something like that. You know what I mean? Human trafficking really just became a law in like 2000. Well, illegal in 2000. You know what I mean? So it's like it's always been going on, even before that. It's just that we never really paid attention to it. We never gave our energy to it. And it was sort of to like how we felt about R. Kelly. It's like, all right, you know what I mean, where y'all been at?
Right.
You know what I mean? There's been going on.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's nothing, you know what I mean? This is nothing new. You feel me? I remember, you know what I mean, when being in elementary, you feel me, and they would tell us to watch out for the vans. You know what I mean? When little kids, when they walk into school. You know what I mean? Because that happens then.
Right.
You feel me? You know what I mean? Kids was being snatched, little girls, little boys as well. You know what I mean? So it always happened. It always was, you know what I mean? But now they want to add a lot of more things to it, such as, we're being kidnapped for our organs. It was sort of like, what was the movie? What's that movie? The black guy when he was with the I know what I'm talking about. He was kidnapped by the white people. Get Out. Is it Get Out?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. They were taking his whole body.
Yeah. Know what I mean? So everybody be talking about, because that's really where that movie came, that idea. Because I know he got that idea from social media, and that, you know what I mean, that like we're being harvested for our organs and stuff like that. So that's where I think the topic came from. You know what I mean? And then I think we just decided to expand on it and get a little deeper into it. You know what I mean? Because I definitely got some stats I want to read off, but I just want to get y'all, let y'all get in first.
Yeah, I just seen a post today. One of my friends that I work with, actually, and she's a cool person. She posted something today about us being vigilant, more vigilant. And then I posted something on our Facebook page about a little girl who was on a rap to Tupac beat. And like the as human trafficking as it relates to black people, more so that's what I was getting about how we are the most feared people. We're most, we're considered to be less important and more feared by the white race or whatever. So, but in this instance, we're more attractive as it comes to human trafficking. This is why I read a post, or it was might have been a video that I watched about somebody talking about when we go to the doctors getting these different tests and getting blood work. Some of the doctors may be aligned. Like I said, I don't want to get into the conspiracy part of it, but they were just talking about how they tested us to see, because they say that we need all this medicine for certain things and we don't necessarily need them. They're like some of the situations they're lining up for human trafficking, and like when you talk about the people that are more susceptible, it goes in the list of black people because we're not really cared about when we go missing. Like nobody cared about. Like I think we did a post, a conversation or a podcast about the missing girls that were in D.C. in the D.C. area. They're missing. They could be summed up to be human trafficking, stolen, or taken away for body parts. Like when we're missing, we're not really looked for, as if it was like John Benet Ramsey, where they're all invested in trying to find this person. When it comes to brown and black people like us, they're not really as worried about where we are. They don't really look for us. It's not that alert to find us type of situation. We're just lost. So when I looked at the what human trafficking was and who's more susceptible to it, it's more of our black and brown people. You got the people that's coming over that's from illegal immigrants and stuff like that, because they're, we're less cared about. And it's just sad to know that if a black girl goes missing, she's not important, less important than a white girl going missing. And we're harvested for our organs. I think from what the statistics are looking like, it's more that we're taken for our organs versus sex trafficking. But we also be for that, whereas you get most immigrants are forced work or sex trafficking, where, it's just different levels of what it could be. And it's just, from like reading what I read, it's just like I said, going back to my friend made a post about us being vigilant, because if you're in a parking lot or you're at a stoplight and you see kids get on the bus and they're unattended, and you need to be mindful of them and be more vigilant to make sure they're okay, as opposed to when you go to supermarket, you see a mom unloading her groceries by herself in the parking lot. She could be taken to human trafficking, and you don't think about those things. But now you're being mindful because of how much more is happening currently, even though it's been happening, it's happening more frequently. And like I said, we're not cared about as to our other counterparts that are more considered more important or more of a victim than we are, because it's like, oh, well, this black girl left, she's 16, she's fine, and nobody cares. And it could be a situation where she's going into human trafficking in different areas of that. So it was very, very eye-opening for me. And like, my daughter gets off of work late and she's walking home from maybe about 2 or 3 blocks away from the house. God forbid something happened to her. I know that as her mom, and because of her race, she might not be cared about, and she could be susceptible to human trafficking because they say the areas. New York, we're right next to New York. How easy is it for you to take somebody from Jersey to New York and then get them lost in the sauce? So it's those things that you worry about, and it's very eye opening as a parent, let alone a black female, that we could be taken. But then again, you can't just say females. It could be boys. They could be forced into sex trafficking and stuff like that too. So you just never know. You have to be mindful of your surroundings. Wow. That's what made me. It brought it to me in that aspect.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, like Clint said earlier, I think what was the thing for me was thinking about how people are thinking that it's something new or something more prevalent now, when actually, like you said, actuality, it's more the being aware of it, right? And I mean, it's good that we are more aware of it. I definitely don't want to diminish the fact that it's important that we be more aware of it. But people have to realize that this is something that's been going on. There's, hundreds of thousands of victims across, multiple decades, and probably even longer. Going back even further back in terms of the things that people have gone through in what we now call modern day slavery, or even like you said with the organ harvesting and other things that are going on. I mean, I don't know what the market is and what the situation is with the organ harvesting part of it, but I know that there's a huge uptick in people being kidnapped and persuaded and what's the word? Just indentured into servitude to other people. Across the world. I mean, here in the United States, the biggest thing is the sex trade, the menial labor. I can't remember where I was reading this, but there was a story about some farm workers that were being forced into servitude to help their they basically were trying to help their family in other countries, primarily in Latin and South America, to come up to the United States, and so they were promised the ability to make enough money to bring their family, and they're basically in slavery because they're basically being forced to work for free, and because the pipeline is already there. So these individuals that have them working for them, they're basically working for free to cultivate land, to do harvesting, to do all this other stuff, and then their family comes here, and they're basically going through a cycle. You know what I mean? Of that servitude. I think that the most important thing to realizing is the situation with, like you said, Sonny, with black people, specifically black women, but black people in general, is the fact that being second-class citizens or treated like second-class citizens, throwaway citizens, is that more often than not, missing persons go missing longer without being searched for, if ever, and they are so they're most susceptible to being either kidnapped or put into servitude or even worse. So I think that's definitely some things that stuck out for me as well.
I think I just want to define human trafficking for those who don't know. Hold on one second. I'm going to get the Wikipedia.
Sonny.
Yes.
Sonny, you mind if I do it for you? Because I was about to. I got this article.
No, go ahead.
From the Business Insider. Because I wanted to read off. It's called 20 Staggering Facts. Hopefully y'all can hear me. I'm a little stuffy. Sorry.
Yeah, no, we hear you just fine, brother.
All right. 20 Staggering Facts about human trafficking in the U.S. And like Honey said, human trafficking is when people are recruited or harbored by threat or forced to be exploited, according to the United Nations. Mostly it's commercial sex or labor exploitation, and a victim does not need to be transported anywhere in order to fall under the definition. Trafficking is covert and illegal, and precise information is not easy to get. Now, here's 20 random facts real quick. Human trafficking in the U.S. Human trafficking was illegal until 2000 when the Trafficking Victims Protection Act was passed, which made it a federal crime. The United States, along with Mexico and the Philippines, was ranked one of the world's worst place for human trafficking in 2018. In the U.S., there's no official number of human trafficking victims, but the estimates place it in the hundreds of thousands. Since 2007, more than 49,000 cases of human trafficking in the U.S. have been reported to the National Human Trafficking Hotline, which receives an average of 150 calls per day. The most human trafficking cases have been reported in California, Texas, and Florida, according to the hotline. Las Vegas is also a hot spot due to the city's culture and high rates of homelessness. And being somebody who's been to Las Vegas, I mean, that's one thing they don't talk about. Like, there's a lot of homeless people in Las Vegas. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's true.
But every state in the U.S. has reports of human trafficking. New York and Queens, in particular, is a documented destination for trafficking because it's location to the Eastern Corridor, and it's close to like homelands like Vermont and stuff like that. It is estimated that between 18,000 and 20,000 victims are trafficked into the United States every year. Children are more vulnerable than adults. They're easy to control, cheaper, and less likely to demand working conditions. More than 300,000 young people in the U.S. are considered at risk of sexual exploitation. What else? In 2011, California passed a law to help with trafficking in the manufacturing industry. The law required major manufacturing and retail firms to disclose what they were doing to stop human trafficking in the supply chains. By 2015, however, less than a fifth of businesses had complied. So it's like they're making laws and business not even complying to the laws. Children raised in foster care have a greater chance of becoming victims. In 2013, 60% of child victims the FBI recovered were from foster care. In 2017, 14% of children reported missing were likely victims of sex trafficking, and 88% of those had been in child welfare, the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children reported. In 2014, study of sex trafficking by Urban Institute, a Washington think tank, found 71% of labor trafficking victims entered the U.S. legally. The Mexican state of Tlaxcala has been identified as the biggest source of sex slaves to the U.S. In 2015, 5 out of 10 of Homeland Security's most wanted sex traffickers were from Tenancingo and Tlaxcala. There were estimates that 1 in 10 people from Tenancingo were involved in trafficking. Native American women are a particular risk. In 2016, they reported 506 Native American women disappeared or were killed in American cities. In Phoenix, another of top trafficking jurisdictions in the U.S., it was estimated that 40% of the sex trafficking victims in 2015 were Native American. And there's a whole bunch of different information here. But one thing, migrant farm workers can become trafficking victims because their legal status in the U.S. often tied to employment. You know what I mean? According to a 2017 report, the most commonly worked crop for victims was tobacco, followed by cattle and dairy, oranges, tomatoes, and strawberries. Yeah, you see, now when we talk about this, y'all remember the website Backpage that they took down?
Yep.
They said the National Center of Missing and Exploited said 73% of 10,000 child sex trafficking reports they receive per year involve ads from Backpage. It's like, damn. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, but like, I mean, as we're seeing, there's a trend here, you know, in terms of you know, the ways that they're getting people in, the ways that they're using people, the ways that they're exploiting people. The one thing I wanted to go back to was your stat about the California law. So the California law, it mentioned that the trafficking in the manufacturing industry. So you got to think about what that means. You know, that doesn't go to sex. That doesn't go to organ harvesting. It doesn't go to, you know, just general kidnapping and things of that nature. We're talking about people who are being trafficked to actual companies that we buy some, you know, clothing from, shoes, electronics, things of that nature, we're buying legal goods from, but they're using illegal they're using illegal employment practices.
Yep.
Hiring groups of people from quote unquote agencies that are taking advantage of these people and that are selling these people off as workers in their agency, and then the agency gets paid and they're paying these people pennies on a dollar, or they're not even paying them at all, and they're basically stuck in those situations because they have nowhere to go and there's nobody to help them. And the companies don't care because they're looking at it like, hey, we pay the agency, we have nothing else to do with this. And that's why a lot of them are not disclosing that information, and there's nobody enforcing the disclosure of that information, which is why the less than a fifth of those businesses are complying. So we definitely have to keep that in mind of the business practices of some of these companies that are taking advantage of lax laws, taking advantage of unfiltered labor that are coming in from various countries and being used as virtual slaves. Being underpaid and treated unfairly.
Exactly. I mean, there's a lot of these major companies. I really want to do my research on that law because I want to know the actual companies. You know what I mean? And because they're saying they're not complying, because that stuff we tend to look over. And like you said, they just basically making them indentured servants. You feel me? That's all. You know what I mean? That's what a lot of them agencies, or those so-called tip agencies, like you said, just got them people working like indentured servants. You know what I mean? We're trafficking y'all over here, and that's where a lot of these, when they be coming from trying to cross over the border, and a lot of them we think it's like that, but a lot of them be, you know what I mean? It's part of that work stuff, man, making people work for free. You know what I mean? And all that nonsense, and then
help provide for their families back home.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like it's so
trying to make sure they good.
Facts. You know what I mean? I wonder. See, this is what I wonder, because when you read stats like that and them numbers, that's only the stuff that's reported. And you can imagine it's really much worse than that.
Yeah.
True that.
You know what I mean? Like it's really much worse than that. I wanted to so to get it back local real quick. It was like when we discussed this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to come from that perspective. The very next day, right? The very next day, so I'm chilling, and I get a text. I ain't recognize the number at first, but the text was like, "Cousin, I'm about to send you this. Check this for me, because we about to make these flyers." Excuse me. We about to make these flyers. You know what I mean? Because somebody, this van out here. You know what I mean? And then when she was like, well, I didn't know who it was at first, and it was like something funny. So I'm like, I text her, I'm like, who is this? It was my cousin. She was like, yeah, it was some van parked outside. It was like a white van, which she said was parked outside. She's like, my uncle, went out there to check it. You know what I mean? Because it just, it wasn't from around there. So when he went out there to check it, it sped off. So then she was telling me, my other cousin, her sister, when she was getting off work one day, she was like, some dude just randomly walked up to her, you know what I mean, and was like, yo, can you, and she was like, it was strange how he was acting. But he was asking her to do something. She was like, nah, I'm in a rush. And it just so happened with some other people at a distance that just so happened to be walking towards her or walking their way. So he stopped, and she got in the car. And she was like, the way he approached her, like he was in such a panic or frantic, like he wanted her to help her with something. But when he seen them people, he didn't say nothing to them. Know what I mean?
Wow.
He didn't say nothing to them. he just got into, you know what I mean, he just pulled off and he just left. He got into whatever car, he just left. She was like, yo, that was crazy, that was strange. So it was like, wow. You know what I mean? Like, just that quick, it touched home and it touched family. And then if y'all, you know, y'all follow me on IG, if y'all don't, if people listeners, I got King's True 609. It was another situation to where we remember Smooth when we shouted out his foundation or whatever.
Yeah.
The Tough Foundation. So
yeah.
a couple weeks ago, you know, next thing you know, he had posted about another lady from our city, Trenton. You know, she just disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You know, and you know, she's an easy target because it was like she got mental issues or whatever. So, you know, don't nobody know what happened. You feel me? Don't nobody want to jump to conclusions, but you know, don't know what. Couldn't find her. I just talked to him again like last year. I'm like, is anybody? You know what I mean? Anything? He's like, no, nothing. You know what I mean? Like, it's sad. She just disappeared. You know what I mean? I'm like, wow. So now it really touch home when it really gets close to you. You know, you get a different, you know what I mean, different feel for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and the sad thing is when you see so many people go missing without any reports, you know, any widespread reports. You know, you're looking at things on Facebook, you're looking at things on Twitter, but you're not seeing it in wider spread coverage on things like the news or even on news sites. You know what I mean? There's other avenues to get this information out there, and unfortunately, you're not seeing it, especially for situations like mentally disabled or people that are on medication. You know, I know I've seen some folks that are either elderly or you know, coming from, you know, certain homes or facilities get reported, but you know, a lot of the ones I see on Facebook for my area, I don't, you know, see those popping up from the news media or from, you know, the newspapers in their sites and things like that. So it's disheartening to see that, you know, they're not getting the coverage that they need. You know, I mean, and one thing too, I was talking to somebody about was, you know, the what they call it, the Amber Alerts, right? And how disappointing it is when you hear people, you know, I mean, people are proud of themselves that they disable their Amber Alerts, you know, and I mean, it's a double-edged sword, you know, I think in a way, because you think about it from the standpoint of people are like, you know what, I'm not paying attention to that, and it's somebody's child, you know, I mean, bottom line is somebody's child, somebody needs help, they're trying to get that information out there, but the secondary issue is a lot of times the information is so incomplete or so, I mean, you know, to be honest, a lot of it's useless information, right? You know, it's like it's a white car with half a license plate, or it's a this, and people don't even know what to look for, you know, and it's, you know, so it's a double-edged sword, you know, because, you know, it's good, the information that's getting put out, but then it's sad when it's not being listened to, and it's even doubly bad when you're thinking about the people, or that the information is just not enough information to go off of, or I mean, like the last Amber Alert that I got, the information was, I think it was distributed around 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, but the situation went down at like 2 or 3 in the morning, so it had been like 5 hours until we got the alert, and you know, that's almost useless information at that point. I mean, after 5 hours, anything could have happened. They could be anywhere. I mean, you can get from here to Kentucky in 5 hours, you know, from Detroit, if you drive fast enough, and especially in the middle of the night where there's no police officer around, there's nobody clocking speed or anything like that. So you got a clear shot down south, you know, within 5 hours. You can get just to the other side of Ohio in that shorter time. So, you know, it's you know, unfortunate that it's not a faster system or easier way to get this information out. But, you know, I think people definitely need to be conscious and more sensitive to the fact that this is still the way we can get the information. It's still somebody's child. Still be alert, be vigilant. The white van situations. We can get into that a little bit later. But yeah, go ahead with what you were saying, Clint.
Oh nah, that's all I had to say. I was just.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think definitely getting into the information of what we can do to protect the people around us, those who are more susceptible, those who are unable to help themselves. I think something you mentioned, kids walking to school or taking the bus, things of that nature. Or one that just touched me recently. I was watching. I forgot what TV show it was, but it was something that happened about a year ago. A young lady was out grocery shopping by herself, 8 or 9, 10 o'clock in the evening. So not really late, extremely late, but late enough where it was dark outside, and she had a guy run up on her as she was putting her groceries in the car, and he kidnapped her in her own car. He was holding her at knife point rather, and made her get into the car. He got in behind her and drove off. They even showed the video from the grocery store cameras of how how quickly that happened. And I mean, it was within seconds. I mean, she had been at the car longer than it took him to take her. And it's a scary thought that this kind of thing can happen, and in the blink of an eye. And nobody is the wiser. And I mean, he literally drove her around for I think it was 5 or 6 hours before he was finally caught. And thank God he didn't kill that young lady. He did rape her, unfortunately. He did assault her, and and threaten her life several times in the course of the time he had her, and was planning to take her across halfway across the country. And her fast action of being able to get her phone and sending a message to her boyfriend to follow the car and to get the police to head them off was the only thing that saved her life. But I think, like you guys mentioned, is that be conscious of things like that, where people are alone, trying to get into their car by themselves, and are there out in even the most well lit parking lots, but they're still susceptible, because these things can happen so fast, and a lot of people like to turn a blind eye to a lot of this, but you could definitely be the difference between life and death for somebody.
Yeah, I want to go out the number. It's 657-383-1155. If you want to join in the conversation, definitely call in and let us hear your voice and hear what you're thinking. I'm still hung up on this Human Victims Protection Act. Like, why did it take so long to even get something in place? Why did it take to the 2000s to get something in place or to have it be illegal? I'm well aware, and I think the problem also goes in line with the missing. You can't. It's hard to prove that a grown adult is missing. 18 and up is considered an adult, and if you go missing, you're not really missing. You may have left. But I think it should be based on a case-by-case scenario, because the likelihood of someone going missing that is just living their life and everything is going great in their life and nothing is causing them to walk away from it, they will be considered missing. I think that's one of the biggest problems, is not reporting or not being able to report an adult missing when they show up missing.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, because 18, you look at it like this: the 18-year-old girl goes missing. Technically, to the police, she's not really missing. She could have left. But
right.
What would make situation? What would make her leave? If she's going great, life is going great for her. She's supposed to be going to college and shit like that. Why would she go missing? It baffles me. Like, a lot of these laws are ass backwards to me, and that's one of them. Because if you're going to report somebody missing, you're used to their behavior. That's like if I'm around my kids 24/7, and all of a sudden they can't find me, but because I'm 36, it's a problem for them to report me. That's a problem.
Yeah. And
Wait,
you know what?
go ahead.
Oh, I
said
said the
as an adult, you have to wait a certain amount of hours before you can report them missing. By then, they could be long gone.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
And let's be honest about that law. You know, a lot of these victims are primarily female. You know, and you know this is a male, especially in the U.S. This is a male chauvinist society, male dominated society, and you know we look down on women. You know what I mean? So, like we talk about rape culture and all that. There's a reason why the sex industry in this country is so big. You know what I mean? This is like one of the most horniest, you know what I mean, nastiest places, man. Like for real, when it comes to stuff like that. So, you know, and how we look at women and how we view women. You know what I mean? It as if they're beneath us. That's how this foundation of this country has always been. So y'all never really had laws to protect y'all. You know what I mean? Y'all never had laws to protect y'all. Y'all, you know, that's what spurred. Really, that's what should have generated that. Like the Me Too movement has been long overdue. In my estimation, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because y'all was never really protected. You know what I mean? Our mothers, our aunts, our grandmothers, your older female, they were never really protected. And then when you start talking about the black women, you know what I mean? They're beneath everybody in this society. So you know they're not protected. You know there's no laws for them. You feel me? They ain't really looking for them. Because if they don't care about their own like that, you know what I mean? If the system don't care about the dominant society their own like that, you know they don't care about us. You know what I mean? So, like it's kind of, when you really look at it, it was kind of set up to be this way. You know what I mean? It's kind of set up. So the law just being made in 2000 doesn't surprise me at all. You feel me? When you think about it, you kind of surprised they even made the law. That's
right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, you got to think about this law. This law was put into place to protect people who were immigrants, really, from this type of trafficking, and allow them to get support and assistance, and be allowed to have what they call a T visa and that kind of thing. I mean, it was authorized several times across several years, 2003, 2005, I believe 2013. It lapsed at some point as well because of all the the infighting in Congress. But basically, it took, I believe it was until 2013 before it was even added as part of the Violence Against Women Act. And that was the only way they were able to get it passed and get it reauthorized again after it had lapsed in 2011. So I think that the like you said, the problem is that we have so many opportunities, right, to have these laws put in place, and then either just the way this society is set up, or people not wanting certain things to be allowed or to be given to people. The Violence Against Women's Act was set up to not only support the women who had who had violence against them, either in the relationships or criminally imposed on them, but also to fund the investigation of these offenses and things of that nature. So you're talking about money having to be put into place. So every so many years they have to reauthorize this money. They have to reauthorize these things to be done, and they add every time they either add something to it or take something away. And it's sad that we have to fight for and push for legislation for our own protections and our own human rights. Um, and like you said, for years it was pushed off. I mean, these are laws that have been talked about for years, since I believe 1990 or 1980s. It was something that had been debated and debated and debated, and finally in '94 they passed the Violence Against Women, and then in 2000 they finally got the Trafficking Victims Protection Act put in place. So it's taken decades just for them to figure out how to make a law against it, when it's just something that should be just common sense.
But you know why it's not common sense? Because a lot of dudes that make the law benefit from it.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, they're involved in it. You know, that's why they was stuck with the Jeffrey Epstein. You know what I mean? That's, you feel me? That's why they got him out of there.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? That's why they got him out of there. Because they know if he would have started telling, he would have start talking, all that stuff, with a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? Because that's what he was involved in. You know what I mean? So it's clear, you know, that they don't really care, and they never really did, you know, and that's where shows like, what was the guy name who did, was it Unsolved Mysteries?
Oh yeah,
that had
yeah, I know you're talking about.
The child was kidnapped. He never found him.
Yeah, not Unsolved. It was he ended up getting the Adams Law put into place. Oh man, I can't think of his name. I know you're talking about though.
Yeah, you feel me? That's basically why that. Huh?
America's Most Wanted.
Nah, the Unsolved Mystery. It
wasn't Unsolved Mystery. She's right. I think it's America's Most Wanted, if I'm not mistaken.
It is America's Most. Yeah, it is America's Most Wanted.
Oh, I know that because I his son.
Yeah, it is America's Most Wanted. I can't think of his name, but that's basically why that show was created.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it wasn't no visibility. There wasn't no outlets for when kidnappings and stuff like that happened. You know what I mean? So
John Walsh, that was his name. Yeah, John Walsh.
Yep.
Yeah, because it was his son Adam Walsh that was kidnapped. Yeah.
Yep. So like that's why that whole thing. You know what I mean? That was big. That was big. You know, and you know, like it's just sad. It's just sad. But like you said, but like Sonny was saying, at this point, so now that we're all aware now, and I think everybody should be taught. We should be talking about more preventative measures now. What can we do? You know, it's never a perfect science to prevent it, but you know, it is actions we can take. You know what I mean? Be more vigilant in our own community.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely important to also, you know, get the right information out. Actually, I just got a text from a friend of mine who was saying that, you know, they were talking to a group of people who somehow hadn't even heard of all the thousands of missing black women, or had heard of, you know, all the increase in missing people who are getting basically underserved, right? Not having the information put out there. And you know, I think it's definitely disheartening that people don't even realize this is happening out there. You know what I mean? Because that means that they're not vigilant, they're not thinking about it. You know, they're unaware, right? They're definitely not telling their friends or keeping their loved ones safe. You know, or just the people that they know in general. You know, it definitely has to be a community effort. You know, to keep our people safe.
Definitely.
I mean, what do y'all think about that? The people are actually out here unaware.
Like that's just wild to me. It's just wild to me because I think it's a form of cognitive dissonance isn't the term I'm looking for. It's where I guess out of sight, out of mind. So to speak.
Yeah. True.
You know what I mean? So like they don't, and not even that. Because it's like something when you know it's there, you don't want to face the reality of it. You know what I mean? You don't want to acknowledge it. You feel me? You don't want to deal with that reality, so you try to just block it out. Act like it ain't there. You know what I mean? Like I said, if it doesn't touch your doorstep, it's not real.
Yeah.
It's not real to you. You know what I mean? And then if it's not real to you, then you don't have to empathize. You know what I mean? You don't have to, empathize, so to speak, with anybody, because it's not real. It's not real. You don't see it. You know what I mean? It's just you hear. It's just something you hear. You know what I mean? But it's not real, so they don't want to deal with it. And that's how people cope. It's a coping mechanism, really. That's all it is.
Well, yeah,
that's all they're doing.
Because if it makes them uncomfortable, then they have to think. They have to think about it. It'll make them uncomfortable, and then they have to recognize that there is a problem out here, and that it's affecting other people. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people don't want to deal with stuff that's hard.
Right.
Exactly. I mean? That's just natural human nature. It's just natural human nature.
Yeah, I mean, I think another thing that people have to keep in mind, because a lot of times they don't think about this, and I think you touched on it with one of the facts, was just the fact that there's so many people that get trafficked, but it's through the fact that they're either wards of the state, they're in foster care and things of that nature, and I don't know if you touched on this one, but I remember there was a statistic about victims who were, victims just through the fact that they were either homeless or, indebted to people who they felt were like family members or things like that, and had put them in that position to be trafficked. The biggest culprit is money, right? We all have debts. We all have family that we may have to take care of, things of that nature, and it becomes what gets people either started in it. The sex trafficking industry is huge on that. People getting involved because they're trying to take care of their family, and then they start with sex work, and it goes from there. Or people who are trying to feed habits, drug habits and things of that, gambling habits, gambling addictions, drug addictions, things of that nature. So it becomes but then even people who
and it was celebrated in our community. Let's be real. It was a part, because when we talk about this, we got to realize pimping and all that.
Right.
Like that's a form of it. You feel me? Like, you know what I mean? I've seen it in my own city to where, dudes that have girls come from out of town just to do things. You feel me? That's basically the same thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
True.
Young girls.
Very true.
You feel me? And I've seen other women do that with other girls, young girls. You know what I mean? Like that's a thing in the hood. You feel me? Like that ain't like that's something major. Like, but people don't. And that's always been around. You feel me? So that's another thing, reason why people don't like to talk about it, because a lot of people on the low benefit from it.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? A lot of people benefit from it. Like, so, you know what I mean? Like, we celebrated a whole lifestyle of it in our music. You know what I mean? In movies.
Yeah,
so.
And one thing that made me think about that too was that I think I posted that picture. We all posted that picture in our original advertisement for the show and promotion for the show. The "How Much Is Your Daughter Worth" picture, and that pointed out prices of females in different countries that were sex trafficked. And, I mean, it's everything from countries that are in poverty to countries that are, first world countries that are well off. I mean, you got China with $40 to $400. They didn't put, we couldn't see the United States price, but Colombia, I mean, $200 for a virgin girl. I mean, this is why people are getting kidnapped. This is why people are getting drugged and taken. And
the first Taken.
Oh, right,
And
right, exactly.
that
Yeah.
because it popped in my head because she went to Paris for like a little vacation. She was still underage. Her and her friend went to Paris, and like they prey upon people. So you not only you have to be mindful in these inner cities, it's when you're going out of country too, because
Mhm.
that's they're waiting on you, and then they're plotting on you because they know that you're not from there. So you like, and that's even traveling to New York or traveling to Vegas. You have to be mindful of your surroundings.
Right. Mhm.
You never know.
Yeah, I mean, it's not to scare people to not travel or scare people to go into certain areas of a city, but it's like you said, you still have to be vigilant. You still have to be mindful. You can't trust every little person that comes in your face because they're not always looking out for your best interests. Plenty of times people have been drugged, people have been just knocked over the head. It doesn't stop or end or begin at any one particular situation. Um, it's just it all comes down to following your gut, being you know thinking ahead, letting people know where you're going, who you're with, and how you're getting to and from places. We've seen reports of Ubers and Lyfts, and we've seen reports of people just being snatched off the street. And people who just get involved just because they fell in with the wrong crew or the wrong individuals and end up in these situations.
Yeah, it's just sad. I feel bad
Yeah.
for the that survived that and have to know that, like that's just a lot to process that you were taking and just things like that. It's just you never know.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like that's
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
a lot.
We about we about to head into the after show,
Yeah. I want to talk about
and
pending impeachment or whatever this about to be.
that's exactly what I wanted to talk about.
I'll give out the number one more time. I meant to get the uh
383-1155 if y'all want to call in and join the conversation.
yeah, and before we come off of the topic, I did want to give out the hotline number. If you know
Oh yeah.
or suspect someone is being trafficked, and keep in mind again, it's not just sex trafficking. It's human
Exactly.
trafficking goes across many things. It's sex. It's um, menial labor. People getting trafficked to factories to work in factories. People who are getting trafficked to even provide home home care or what, not home care,
Mhm.
what I mean, like
We
home
got the.
cleaning and being maids
Mhm.
and things like that. There's a lot of faces to human trafficking. It's not just you know poor people. It's not just uh, um, rich little white girls. It's not just it's not old people. It's not young people. It's everybody. Everybody is susceptible. And anyone can be, and it's not just women; it can be men as well. So
Mhm.
definitely keep that in mind. But the number, if you suspect or know of any human trafficking cases, the number to report it to nationwide is 888-373-7888. I'll be posting it on Twitter as well. Again, the number is 888-373-7888. There's also numbers in your local areas and the states and in most major cities as well. So just make sure you look out for one another out there.
Yes. Yes. Please
Yeah.
do. Please do. So why y'all president having fake
Hey,
orgasms on stage?
Is that
don't
why?
first of
Why
all
y'all
don't say
president having fake orgasms on stage and stuff? Like what's going on with it?
I didn't
I
know
have
about
no idea what's going on with that. That's crazy. I've literally had to just take myself away from the whole watching what's going on with Trump and his cronies and his situations and all the lies and the this and the that. I mean, I've given up on the whole impeachment thing because now there's Democrats that are going against it too now. Once again, it's literally a circus. It's just a circus. A lot of smoke and mirrors. In a way, I understand being not really. I guess it's not the word. It's not cautious, but they're trying to not piss people off and get people thinking that it's just this witch hunt, right? This political witch hunt. So their thing is, let's call this off so that we can keep people from just going all out and going against the Democrats across the board and voting Democrats out because they think Democrats are just out to get Trump, which sadly is a thing because people do look at that and feel like I gotta vote for Republicans because we don't want Democrats. I literally talked to a guy who told me he only voted for Trump because he didn't like Hillary. Like that was his only reason. He had no other substantial or any other good reason to not vote Republican or Trump. His thing was he didn't want Hillary in office. So it's one of those. It's basically a game. Everything's a strategy, and as much wrong and evil and illegal things that Trump does, it doesn't matter. He's going to be president. He's going to finish his presidency out. We have to make sure we get people out there to vote and stop hiding behind my vote doesn't count excuse and all the other excuses people have, and get out there and vote to get the right people in office to hopefully do something different, or get somebody different in office. It may not even be the right people. We seem to never get the right people, but you know what I mean. Get somebody different in there, somebody who can actually go in there and do something that makes sense and not just out for themselves. Because that's basically what Trump is always doing. So.
Trump is a damn mess, is what he is. I haven't been following it wholeheartedly. I get glimpses in the morning when I'm getting ready for work, and the first thing I do is mute my TV because it's a bunch of bullshit. Like, y'all know this man, like, after the first time I've heard about it, and he talked about the conversation, y'all know what he did. If you're going to impeach this man or y'all not. Like, I don't want to hear the in-between. It's just foolery. Is what it is. And nobody got time for that. So I'm just amazed that's going on this long. I'm amazed that their minds at this point that they're not going to. He can just.
Somebody's TV on or something?
I love you, Peter.
That's our president.
You said what's wrong?
That's our president having his state orgasm on stage.
Oh, I'm like, what is going on? What was he doing? Whoa. Okay, I don't want to hear no more. What is wrong with? What was wrong with him? What was going on?
I guess Lisa.
What was he deflecting? What was he deflecting now?
No, he was giving that like a rally, and he just went like. He had a script, and then he was like, you know what? Don't y'all just like it when I just wing it? And then the next thing you know, he just started went on this whole hour and so many odd speech. You feel me? He was just talking crazy. In that particular part, I guess he was talking about Lisa Page, and I guess she had something to do with the Hillary thing. You know what I mean? I guess they was. I guess she actually did something that might help Trump because she messed up trying to get Trump out of there or whatever. But, and Trump was talking bad about her or whatever, so she was never said nothing. But then I know he got on stage and he was just, talking about her. He just started acting like he was having she was having sex. Like, I was like, this dude is crazy. I was like, this dude is crazy.
Wow.
He was talking. He was just up there cussing. Who else he was talking about? He's talking about a couple people, man. You know what I mean? He was talking about Joe Biden. He was like, he was kissing Obama ass and all that type of crazy. It's like, when have you ever seen a president just get on stage and just talk like that?
Right.
You know what I mean?
He is not a president. He is a clown. Just a basic clown.
like, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I never thought I'd see anything like that. I never, like, not in my life. I always thought it'd be that position. You know, they always make that position something worth of, respect. Like respectable, honorable.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even if you know it's some shady shit, but at least they gonna carry themselves a certain way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
they're gonna make you have to question everything.
Yeah. You feel me? But this fool out here, man, he wilding. Like, I don't understand it. But I really think he's gonna get reelected. So, you know what I mean?
If people who really don't want him in office don't get out there and vote him out of office, he's going to be right back in there. I mean, I think the field of opponents is making that a hard sell anyway. But it still has to be done.
But this what I'm saying though, Willie. Like you was just saying, I think as much as he turned so many people off, I think he attracted more people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think he got more supporters now than he did before. The question is, do more people hate him now more than before? Because he did lose a lot of people that was, you know what I mean? Because don't forget, a lot of people in the black community, until you know what I mean, they ain't know about Trump shady dealings and all of that. You feel me? Like they thought Trump was cool. So a lot of black people always rock with Trump.
Right.
You know what
True.
I mean? Because Trump, you feel me? Like, you know what I mean? Trump was a hustler. That's how black people looked at you. Trump was a hustler. You understand? You know what I mean? So now, like, when we see him come out, you know, now a lot of black people don't like him. So but I know there's a certain segment of black folk, they still rock with him.
Oh yeah.
Like, they still rock with him. They still rock with him. And he got a lot of people, you know what I mean? And then, you know, his base is even stronger. Like they even staunch. Like even, you know what I mean? Like they not budging. They not budging. You feel me? Like let them try to impeach him and get him out of here, man. Like watch. You talking about riots? Okay. Okay. Like, you know what I mean? It ain't just gonna be that simple. Them get him out of there, and you think just people gonna accept that? Especially after y'all got 8 years of Obama.
Yeah, that's true.
And y'all think y'all just going, nah, I mean, now we come back with the white man that we like, and y'all and y'all think y'all just gonna get him out of here, and we ain't like, nah, you know the white people ain't about to just have that. You feel me? Like, you know. Like,
yeah. I mean, like you said, a lot of people have been waiting on a president like this. They've been dying for a president like this. You know, somebody who can let them show their ass and be free with their. You know, if it isn't racism or if it isn't racially based, it may be, you know, classes based, or it may be just being outrageous. It may be it's so many things, so many human characteristics he touches on. You know, good, bad, and ugly that he accentuates out there, and he lets these people feel more free. You know, to do and say and believe what they want. And you know, I think that it's a lot of what's the word? It's a lot of oh man, I'm trying to think what the word to use. It's like they desire this, right? You know, oh man, I wish I could think of this word, but basically they're desiring this, right? They want this type of president out there because then they know that no matter what the agenda is, they feel like he's going to be the one to get it done, right? And like you said, a lot of people rock with him because they think that he's done all these successful things. You know, being rich, you know, already garners a level of respect from people, regardless of if you've been successful or not. Which, you know, I mean, to be honest, and the truth is, he's had mild successes and a lot of failures. He's had he's had huge head starts on things that most people don't have because of his family and because of the power that his family's had before he got involved. So, you know, but people don't look at that. People look at the what's put in front of them. They believe what they're told. You know, what they call them, sheeple, right? You know, they just like sheep, they follow, right? Which, you know, you have them on both sides, you know, because Democrats still want you to believe certain things. Democrats still want you to feel a certain type of way. We're not going to deny the fact that they have an agenda too. And the thing is that everybody has to pick their sides. And right now, his side is very passionate, and they're very they're logistically sound. They get together, they agree on everything. I've always said this. Republicans, they know how to get behind their leaders. They know how to support their leaders. We don't have leaders as strong as these Republican leaders in terms of their influence and their ability to get people to believe what they say and how they say it. And if in good, bad, ugly, wrong, whatever, they ride with each other, ride or die, no matter what. Like literally, no matter what, they will lie for each other. They don't care. It's just how it works. I don't know if there's a way to, if you have to swear your loyalty to them or something, or what it is, but I've never met a Republican that went, you know what? I think they're wrong about this. I've never met one, not one. If you find one, you point them out to me. I've heard that there's some liberal conservatives out there. I've heard of that, but the thing is that for the most part, that's one party. They stick by their party. So I think it's one of those things where it's going to be a hard wall to climb over, and like you said, there's a huge chance that this man might get reelected just because of that. So, people shouldn't be surprised, and they definitely can't be mad when it happens because it is what it is.
Facts. I'm telling you, it's like, I know for a fact it's you know what I mean? Because when you think about it, like, who do the Democrats, who y'all really got? Like, Biden is the it. I don't know if he's gonna cut it. And everybody just giving up hope on Bernie, man. You feel me? Bernie dealing with ageism. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's what Bernie dealing with. Bernie dealing with ageism. Shoot, Trump probably more unhealthy than Bernie.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think this impeachment thing is going very, very well for anybody. I pretty much kind of thrown my hands up. I think it was too little, too late anyway. So
yeah, at the end of the day, they starting to look sad. I'm gonna keep it honest. It is starting to look sad a little bit.
Right.
It's starting to look like a witch hunt.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's starting to just like, all right, man. Like, listen, he in there. You know what I mean? Fighting on policies.
Right.
You feel me? Like, you know what I mean? Fighting on policies. Challenge him to be good. I think that, you know what I mean? Like, are y'all trying to just get him out of there? Challenge him to be good. Challenge him to do his job well.
Right.
Do it that way. Like, you know what I mean?
Now get him on. I said, get him on blatantly lying. He's been lying lately. Like he catch him in his lies, and he just doing what he wants.
Oh, they've gotten them blatantly lying tons of times. They no. They have a whole ticker on CNN that runs and tells you every time he lies, and they have a whole timeline of lies and missteps and deceptions and false facts and false claims, and there's no stopping them. There's no stopping them. Nobody cares. They literally don't care. They don't care. They're not going to start caring. I don't see this as ever being. This is never going to be a presidency. Is going to be looked back upon and be like, you know what, somebody could have did something about this. Like, yeah, if only we had X. You know what I mean? Just like when we always used to think. Remember when we were younger? You know, back in the day, we used to see our family, friends, and neighbors get beat up by police, and we always said, if only we had cameras. If only there was a such thing as a camera that we could hold and just take a video of what's happening. Remember that? Remember that lie we told ourselves?
Word
Yeah.
up. And the camera
So
don't mean the damn
it
thing
don't
now.
mean a damn thing. It just like then, just like that lie. Don't tell that lie to us either. If only we could get,
Yeah.
if only we could get saying that he sexually harasses women. Oh yeah, he's already said that. He said that before he even was elected president. If only we could get him on being a child molester. Oh yeah, he mentioned that too. He's already admitted that he's a child molester and a pedophile. Oh, if only we could get him lying on. Oh yeah, he lied all throughout his presidency and before. If only we could get him on being a racist. Oh yeah, he was accused and convicted or his company was convicted for discrimination in two housing authorities. If only we can. There's a whole lot of if onlys, but that man has broken all of them, every last one.
Like he said during his election, he can go shoot somebody in the middle of Times Square and they'll still elect him president. That's what they did.
Say it one more
Yeah,
time.
that man is untouchable.
Yeah, basically. You know, there's. I like I said, he's gonna finish his presidency out. Might as well let him finish it out. Let him be great, because he's gonna make himself look great in the meantime.
Yeah.
So
you feel me?
Yeah. But anyway,
you know they're gonna do a movie. The movie, but I can't wait to see the movie. I cannot wait to see the movie. I hope I live to see the movie. If Donald Trump is president, that shit's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
That shit's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be hilarious to watch. Y'all gonna enjoy it. Watch it. When the Donald Trump president movie come out, everybody going to see that. Y'all know y'all going to see it.
Enough about Trump. I want to talk real quick on that other topic that I sent you guys. I don't know if it was last week or week before last. The Jordan Sparks and what's his name? Dana Isaiah, I think that's his name. Her husband, Dana Isaiah. So Dana Isaiah, who's Jordan Sparks, she's a singer. If you guys aren't familiar with her, he went out with some friends and took a picture with a young lady who happened to be one of his friends. And in his picture, he captioned it, "Not very many people can, 1, get me out the house past 10:30, 2, get me to smile this big." He's got a big, cheese-eating grin on his face. 3, have me talking about high school. And he said, "Shout out to a real one," and pointed up to the picture. So it's him and the young lady in the picture. But people knowing who he is knew he was married to Jordan Sparks, and there was a little bit of an uproar of people saying, he was wrong for this and he shouldn't have said that, and so on and so forth. The response from Jordan Sparks, his wife, was that she felt like it was a healthy relationship, that it was something that nothing wrong with what he said. She felt that she wouldn't feel right imposing any type of control over her husband and making him not have female friends, or making him feel like he can't express his appreciation and love for his friend, so on and so forth. So I mean, I think we discussed it a little bit in our group chat, but I wanted to just kind of bring the discussion here to the show in terms of where you guys think things either went wrong or went really bad in that situation, or just your thoughts on it.
Nah, like I said in the joint, like if it's obvious, it's I mean, like the man not stupid. That man know he married. You feel me? So, when he posted that, it's obvious that his wife already know. So it's like they already had that conversation. So if it was understood, it got to be explained to the world. You know what I mean? You feel me? He ain't got it. That was to her. That was to his friend. You feel me? So like, and if she already understands the relationship, the wife, it's nothing. Only people putting their issues and their insecurities on that situation. You know what I mean? Now, like I said, if he already had that discussion, Jordan already know what it is. It is what it is. If I'm in that situation, I'm not going to stop. You know, if I should already know before I got married to her that one of her closest friends is a male, right? That's just stuff I should already know. That shouldn't be no new revelation. That may be new to the world, but who cares a fuck about what the world thinks? None of y'all goddamn business, really. You feel me? So it's none of our business. Like I said in the thing, though, only question I had was y'all fucking. You know what I mean? Feel me?
Right.
Fucking involved with it, like, nah, ain't cool with that. But it's not, like, well, man, it's whatever. It's whatever. People got friends. I got close female friends.
Right.
From junior high.
You there.
You know what I mean? I supposed to just stop being her friend, they friends, because, you feel me? That's whack. So they asked me to stop, you know what I mean? Like, come on. Be for real.
What you think, Sonny?
Son?
Did we lose Sonny?
Yeah.
No, I'm here.
Son. Yeah?
Yeah, I'm still here. I had it on mute real quick. My bad. I'm still here, but we got to wrap the show. We got less than
I don't think Sonny was with us.
Yeah, Sonny was not with us at all.
She tried to shut us down. That's okay, Sonny. It's okay. I know you distracted. No problem. No, so my thing about the situation too is I definitely agree. You know, like you said, that he definitely knew what he was doing and knew his limits and boundaries. Right. I think his I don't think he made a mistake and crossed some boundary that he hadn't either already established with his wife or had already established with her before they were married in terms of that relationship. Like you said, Clint, I mean, I have female friends. It was funny. I was having that conversation. I was having kind of that conversation with my fiance, because she had mentioned that, it was like, yeah, I noticed you definitely get along more with females. But she kind of pointed out the reason why she figured that was the case, which I had never thought about. But just because I'm like a listener, right? So usually when I'm dealing with people, male or female, I'm more of a listener than a talker. I think I do more talking on this show than I do ever in my life. But the big thing too is I think that establishing that groundwork, right? Being able to say, look, hey, I have these friends, I have these people in my life, I have these relationships that I want to maintain, and if the person you're with sees those relationships as either healthy or beneficial, then I don't see nothing wrong with it. It's definitely one of those things where it's like, I think that we have to keep in mind that if we're in a relationship, we got to respect the relationship. Did he disrespect his relationship? I think he touched the border, in my opinion. But I do agree that there must have been a line that's been drawn in the sand for them in their relationship, and for her to come and defend him, the line must not have been crossed, and for her to feel like it was something that needed to be calmed or quelled, meant that they either they had already discussed it or they had come to a conclusion that it was all good. I do agree that there was probably something else there at some point, but I don't know. We don't know. We definitely have to learn how to manage our own businesses when it comes to some of these relationships and situations. But we also have to have the conversation so that we can know how do we do our own relationships. I think that I wouldn't have said that about a person, especially not in a public forum, right? I have female friends that I've been friends with for decades, and they know how I feel about them. I know how they feel about me. I don't have to put that in the public forum. I don't have to discuss the type of relationships that I have, right? I know that what people are positive in my life, I know what people aren't, and so I know that when I'm in a relationship, or even regardless of a relationship, maybe even is I know who I need to have, who I need to give my time to, and who I need to separate my time from, right? So I think that that's what's most important, is that we have to just understand, who's beneficial to us and who isn't. So, yeah. But yeah, so good show. Appreciate a conversation as usual. We can go ahead and wrap it up, Sonny. Go ahead, take it away.
Don't do that. Don't do that. You fired. I'm firing everybody. Everybody's fired.
Hey, I'm just trying to be a good co-host over here.
I'm impeaching everybody on this podcast except for myself, of course.
I want to thank myself for being, a good co-host tonight, making sure that the show, continue on a good path, and I love you, Sonny.
I blame it on.
Let everybody know I love Sonny like a sister. She's just like a little sister to me, and she's the only one that can make me get on the podcast and thank myself repeatedly.
No,
you said what?
Y'all, they treat me like I'm a nappy head stepchild. I ain't even gonna front. I wrapped up in this blanket. It felt kind of good. That's beside the point. I had a long ass day. I do apologize though, but I did have a long day. I'm still getting my life.
All right.
But yeah, we're gonna wrap this show. Thank y'all for listening tonight. It's a dope ass show. A lot of information regarding human trafficking. I hope you guys stay alert. Be aware of your surroundings. Protect each other. Look out for each other, because we don't really have that normally, but we need to look out for each other as much as we look out for ourselves. Really want to give out that number for the sex, not the sex trafficking, the human trafficking. I want to say it so bad because that's what I'm used to hearing, not necessarily human trafficking. So give out that number.
Oh, yep. Let me give that number out again. That number is 888-373-7888. That's for the National Human Trafficking Hotline. I posted it to our Twitter, and we posted it to their other sites as well. Definitely look out for each other. Again, women, children, men, rich, poor, U.S. citizens, illegal immigrants. We're all susceptible. So, be kind to each other. Look out for each other.
Exactly. Give out your information.
Is Clint still there?
Yeah, he's still there.
This your boy Willie Styles. You can get at me at Willie Styles everywhere. STYLEZ. WillieStyles.info for all my links. Make sure y'all check out StylesRadio.com. That's where I'm mostly at. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook, but mostly you'll catch my posts on StylesRadio.com. Get me at Willie Styles, and then Willie.Styles on Snapchat. Holla at me.
My mic was on mute. I was just talking away, but you know what I mean. I'm glad it was on mute.
But that's happening. That's real, man. Nobody don't hear you. Nobody don't ignore you. Be like, no, I'm on mute.
Yeah, right up. I'm sitting here talking, and I'm like, yo, what, they just ignored me. Like I ain't even talking. But, you feel me? It's all good. It's all good. Y'all can hit me up on my blog, kingstruth.com, on IG at kingstruth609, Twitter at eTriggerGrooming. Holla at your boy.
And of course, I am Sunny, Instagram. I am Sunny _D, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. Check my blog, unreservedlyme.com. Thank y'all for listening tonight. Check out our website, gftradioshow.com, our Facebook page, GFT Radio. Cop the merch, teespring.com /GFT Radio, IG and Twitter, GFT_radio. Thank y'all for listening. Good night.
See you on 7 days.
Holla.